How is everyone doing? This is Lado. The replay that I'm going to commentate on is one of my own replays from the Pro Ladder this season, and it's going to be against FFW Fertilizer, who is Shriek, the infamous tower. So anyway, get this replay queued up. 30 seconds, 1x speed, unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. Okay, if you take a look at my base, whenever I do get this position in on this map, there's one of two things that you can do. I'm doing a tavern build, obviously. So I'm either going to creep the big guy on the right. Hang on one second. Let me turn off my Warcraft sound. Okay, alright, sorry, I'm going to be a little behind now. Okay, so I'm at like 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 1 minute. Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, whenever you're AOW creeping, you can AOW creep one of two things on this map. You can AOW creep the Sasquatch and the Geo guys, or you can creep the Merc shop. Both of which are good. They both have their advantages. If you creep the Geo guys, you have a chance of getting experience to them, whereas if you creep the Merc camp, you don't get as much experience, but you can hire those Mercs, which are really important. Now, I know that Shriek is a better player than me, so I'm hoping for luck, and I'm going with the experience tomb creep, and I'm hoping for, I think it's either like a 10 or a 15% chance for a drop. If you take a look at Shriek's base, he actually did a fast altar build. It's like the same build that all the humans do on Twisted Meadows, so that they can creep the thing before you can even have a chance to get there. Like if you take a look, he's gonna have this even finished creeping before I even get my hero. Now in terms of your build order, I don't know if you watched it, but whenever the creep is really far away like this, you just want to send one of your first wisps straight out of your mine and build the OW, because you want to have 3 archers to creep, not 2 archers. If you have 2 archers, it takes a really long time. 3 archers, I know it doesn't sound like that much of a difference, but it really does help. So you'll see this 3rd archer will be out and my hero will be there pretty much at the exact same time. So the timing really works out well. Yeah, okay, you'll see, and I'm going to bring a couple wisps to repair. It's not only to repair, there's another thing. Whenever people see you going Dark Ranger, a lot of humans just start to pressure you. So having those 2 wisps is not only to repair, but if the Archmage does come with a water elemental, you just deto those 2 wisps right on the spot, and then it's really no problem for you at all. Now, if you take a look at his little peon, he was about to build a farm in my base, like all humans do. But I had a wisp like standing there, ready to build a building next to it, and I think he knew that. If you take a look, I did get the experience to him. I got lucky. I had a wisp standing there, waiting to build a shop next to it. So I think that's the reason he didn't build the farm in my base. That's something that I've been doing a lot, is all those humans, they always build farms in your base. Well, what I do is as soon as they start, well, not as soon as they start building a farm, but as soon as the farm is about to finish, just build a shop right next to that farm, and eventually the shop will kill that farm, so that way you don't really lose any time. And the thing is, you need to you're going to need that shop eventually anyway, and the shop isn't very expensive. So okay, now if you take a look at my creeping pattern is a bit strange. Normally with Dark Ranger, you just go for the closest and the smallest creeps, just so that you can get a lot of skeletons. Now the reason I'm doing this is basically to steal creeps from him. When you're playing Warcraft at a high level especially, it always comes down to how many of the creeps you can take from the other person. Now the thing is, it's more dangerous to do this. I know it's more dangerous to do this, but the thing is, I think it's worth the risk. Because if you take a look at the hero levels right now, I just hit 3 and he hit 3. Now it's partially due to that experience to him, but then again, he is human, so he can creep faster than me. You'll see he's abusing those mercs like crazy. Usually most people that abuse these mercs do a tier 1 tower rush, so you got to be careful for that. I believe I scouted his base with that one wisp that I have at his merc shop. That's another thing you want to do, especially on this, not only on this map, but on all maps, is if you know you're playing against human and they crept the merc shop, just leave a wisp right there, because the thing is, like I said, a lot of humans will try and abuse those mercs and tower push you. So if they are doing that, the thing is you're going to have to uproot your AOW. Well, you might not have to, but the thing is you might have to uproot your AOW to help defend it. And in doing that, you're not going to be able to produce units, but you will still be able to buy those mercs, which really helps a lot. So keeping a wisp with that merc shop after they creep it, or even the merc shop if you creep it after you creep it, is both very helpful. And take a look at his base. His base is very good. It's great against the Dark Ranger. Whenever I go Dark Ranger, a lot of times against human, I'll just run into their base and I'll expect to TP out. But the thing is, I'll kill like 6 or 7 peons before I TP out. Now, if you take a look at his base, it's completely blocked off with a tower that's like outside of the range of the Dark Ranger. So his base is really well made. Yeah. Now this is just kind of a creep fest. Now, I opted for Panda second. Whenever you go Dark Ranger first, you can get 1 of 2 heroes second. Well, you can get any hero, obviously, but 2 heroes that I believe are best are the Naga and the Panda. The Panda is better in the long run. The Naga is better in the short run. The reason being is the Panda can basically take more damage, and he does that AoE damage, whereas the Naga is good for pushing and just trying to end the game. Now, you can usually try and end the game if you do get a lot of skeletons, but like I said, he did have all those mercs, and chances of me pushing and winning were slim to nil. So I opted for the Panda this game. But I do the Naga pretty much just as much. You see his timing is really good. He hit my base pretty much just as I hit tier 2, so he's going to get a couple cancels off. I'll get a couple of footy kills. It's really an even exchange when you think about it. But yeah, not getting those lures up really does hurt, because basically what Dryads do is give you complete map control against human. Once you get those Dryads out, you can go try and jack him. You can pretty much creep whatever you want. Dryads are super important in this matchup. That's really why all the pros do it. Yeah, they give you complete map control. Even if they jack you, like the worst case scenario. The thing is that when someone jacks you, the thing that hurts you most is whenever they disable your ability to move. So like Sorks slowing you, Raiders ensnaring you, Dryads slowing you, things like that. So that's really what hurts you the most when you get jacked. Now the thing is, the only thing that human has to stop you from moving is that slow from the Sorks. However, the Dryads dispel cancels that. So, and not only that, is a lot of jacks you can actually turn around and just fight once you do have those Dryads, which I think I actually do to end this game if I remember it right. You see, I just bought another thing against human, especially if they're going dual casters. These the big ogre guys are great. Now, if you take a look at his merc shop right now, I bought the ogre and he surrounded it pretty much as soon as I bought it. That really pissed me off. Those guys are like 300 gold. But anyway, those guys are really good against breakers, which is why I like to buy them. Yeah. Now you see I threw up an expo. Now, another thing against human, you can do one of 2 things. You can either try an expo and just mass Dryads, or you can go tier 3 and just do the Dryad Bear mix without expoing. Trying to go tier 3 and expo at the same time is pretty much suicide against anyone that knows what they're doing. The reason being is you just don't have the resources to have the units to defend that expo. And when you do put up the expo, good players will scout it and they will see it and they'll just come tower push it, and you won't have the units to defend it. So, yeah, like I said, I opted for the Dryads. Now, at this point, knowing Shriek, I thought he would be expoing, so I ran up and I luckily ran into his peon line. I didn't get any kills, but I am going to get a decent little jack here. I'm not sure if I actually kill anything, but his jack is going to force him to TP, which is fantastic. Yeah. And that AM is slowed. Man, those Dryads are so weak. They get on so fast. Yeah, another thing in terms of microing, your Dryads are always going to be focused first. So keep your Dryads in a separate control group. You should keep them in a second control group for 2 reasons. Not only to move them, but also for the dispel skill, because you're going to have to dispel the water elementals manually. So, So yeah, keep them in a separate control group, and you'll see as soon as they start to focus them, just run them back a couple paces, not like a couple, a couple steps, and it'll run their whole army into you, and it'll give your heroes the ability to basically rape the rest of their army. That happens a lot against undead. Undeads that go gargoyles is the same thing. They're gonna focus your dryads like crazy, and I actually started doing something